Sign it, please. Just sign it and move on with your life." Those were the words my husband of 22 years said to me across the kitchen table. The same table where we'd eaten 1,000 breakfasts, helped our daughter with homework, laughed until our sides hurt. He slid the papers toward me. Didn't look up. Just pushed them across the wood like they were a grocery list. I didn't sign. I couldn't breathe. By the end of that week, our daughter had stopped speaking to both of us. By the end of that month, our house was on the market. But 3 months later, everything stopped, and the reason left everyone stunned. David and I met in 1999. We were both 23. He was the kind of man who remembered small things, the way you liked your coffee, the anniversary of a bad day, the name of a stranger's dog. We built everything together, the house in Ohio, the business, the life. Our daughter Emma was born in 2007. For a long time, we were happy. Not perfect, but happy. Then somewhere around 2021, things shifted. David became quiet in a way that felt different from quiet. He'd forget conversations we'd had the day before. He'd stare at the wall for long stretches, then shake himself back. I noticed, but I told myself it was stress, work, age. I told myself a lot of things that year. In January of 2024, he handed me the divorce papers. No argument before, no fight that morning, just the papers. I begged him to talk to me. "David, 22 years, you owe me a reason." He looked at me, and something in his eyes was wrong. Not angry, not cold, hollow. "The reason doesn't matter," he said. "Just let this happen." The legal process moved fast. His lawyer, mine, paperwork, mediation, words like assets and division and primary residence replacing everything we used to say to each other. Emma found out through me. She called her father from her college dorm and he didn't answer. She called 3 more times. He answered on the 4th and told her, gently, carefully, that it was his decision and that he loved her. She hung up and didn't call him back for 6 weeks. I moved into the guest room. He moved through the house like a ghost. Sometimes I heard him at 3 a.m., just standing in the kitchen, lights off, doing nothing. I told myself he was cruel. I told myself I had to stop loving someone who could do this. But something in me, some deep, quiet part, knew there was something else. But that wasn't all. 3 months into the proceedings, Emma drove home for the weekend. She went into David's home office to return a book she'd borrowed. She found something on his desk, a letter, handwritten, addressed to me, unsealed. She almost put it back. Instead, she read it, and she sat on the floor of that office and cried for 40 minutes before she called me. The letter started, "Sarah, if you're reading this, I made a mistake. I wasn't strong enough to hide this all the way to the end." 8 months before he filed for divorce, David had been diagnosed with early-onset Alzheimer's. He was 47 years old. He had gone to the doctor alone, heard the diagnosis alone, drove home alone, and decided, alone, that he would not destroy my life by making me watch him disappear. He had spent 3 months researching what would happen to our finances. He had spoken to a financial advisor, not a divorce lawyer, first. He had learned that if he became incapacitated, legally, without separation, our savings, the house, everything we built, could be absorbed by medical costs. He filed for divorce to protect me, to make sure the house stayed in my name, to make sure Emma's college fund was untouchable, to make sure I would not spend the next 10 years watching my money dissolve while watching him dissolve. He thought, if I hated him for leaving, it would hurt less than watching him forget me. He wrote, "I know what I'm asking you to feel. I know what I'm taking from you. But I need you to have a life after me. I need Emma to see her mother okay. That matters more than what I need right now. That has always mattered more." I stood in the kitchen holding that letter for a long time. The weight pressing down on my chest made it hard to stand. My throat burned, but I couldn't speak. I had spent 3 months believing he had stopped loving me. The truth was, he loved me so much, he was willing to let me hate him. I found him in the backyard that evening. He was sitting in the old wooden chair by the garden, the one he'd built himself 15 years ago. I didn't say anything at first. I sat down next to him, handed him the letter. He closed his eyes. I said, "You don't get to make this decision for me." He started to protest. I stopped him. 22 years ago, you promised me. All of it, not just the good parts. Emma came out behind me. She stood in the doorway. He looked at his daughter, then at me. And something broke open in him, quietly. The tears came slowly, the way they do when someone has been holding them for a very long time. We didn't tear up the divorce papers that night. We called his doctor. We called a specialist. We talked until 2 a.m., all three of us, at that same kitchen table. There were no easy answers. There still aren't, but we faced them together, the way we were supposed to. David still has good days and hard days. Some mornings he remembers everything. Some mornings he calls me by his mother's name. I hold his hand either way. There are people in your life right now, carrying something they believe is too heavy to share, hurting you to protect you, leaving you to love you. Sometimes the cruelest-looking choice is the most desperate act of love. And sometimes, love means refusing to let someone make that sacrifice alone.